Okay, let's turn our attention to men's figure skating. Fill us in on Nathan Chen.
All right, so Nathan Chen, he's a fan favorite back home in the U.S. Listen, the short program, he is probably the favorite to win the gold. And listen, I don't want to jinx it, but the guy turned in a masterful qualifying performance. Actually had the highest score in the event's history.
Oh, wow.
He registered as, yeah, he had a 115.97. And listen, I mean, the guy is skating with all the confidence in the world. He knew as soon as the program ended that he did his thing. And going into this final later on in the morning, you know, he's very much the favorite to win.
Okay, and let's talk about, there was one more you wanted to talk about. Is it Eileen Gu?
Well, there's Eileen Gu. Eileen Gu is, so she's actually a California native,
yes,
competing for Team China. And so this one's interesting because she's from the Bay Area,
yes,
and her father's American, her mother is Chinese. And so she decided some years ago that she wanted to honor her mother's heritage and compete for Team China. And look, having athletes that have dual citizenship or, you know, decide to compete for another country is not unusual. But what is unusual is, number one, she's someone who is pretty high profile. She's not just a pro athlete, she's also a fashion model. And so, you know, she's got it going on both ends there. And then also, you know, generally you don't see this happen with geopolitical rivals, right? I mean, it's you know, maybe someone who's Canadian and American, but you know, for someone to go from the United States to compete with one of the United States' chief rivals in China, that's something that's gotten a lot of attention. But I got to tell you, I got a chance to see her compete in the women's big air. Just how gold in this, and she is phenomenal, and you know that, you know, she's expected to do well because the IOC president Thomas Bach actually showed up to watch her compete.
Wow.
But listen, this was, you know, we talk about how these have been like a pandemic games and how, you know, they kind of tamped down the crowds and whoever's able to be in attendance. And even you know, if you go into one of these events, they kind of, you know, tell you to try not to cheer too loud as to show, like, you know, preference to one athlete over another. This was a raucous event, and every time she took to the slopes and went down for her run, they went nuts. It was probably the most normal Winter Olympic experience that I've had thus far. But yeah, she is beloved here. She is a rock star. Very popular.
Well, Alex, I could talk to you all day. I want you to live your best life over there. Have a good time. Stay safe. One day I'll go myself, but you are in demand, so I have to sadly say goodbye. We could talk for hours about this.
Well, it's always great to join you. But
it's always great to join you, Alex. Have a great day, or a great tomorrow, because your day's over. Enjoy.
It all blends together.
It's all the same, yeah. Thanks, Alex. Oh, that's so cool. That has to be on my bucket list, to go to the Olympics once in my lifetime, and even put on some ice skates one time and try to do like a triple double lux squat, whatever it's called. Okay, I'm talking to myself again. I guess we should get back to some of the stories in the KFI newsroom that I promised you we'd talk about. It's specifically the Super Bowl, because that's what's happening here this weekend. So federal officers will be helping local law enforcement with Super Bowl security in Inglewood.
The Department of Homeland Security will be sending more than 500 personnel to help keep the game secure. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says officers will be screening every person and every item that comes into the stadium.
We also are ensuring the safety of land, sea, air, and the cyber environment.
Mayorkas says agencies that will be working out the game include Customs and Border Protection and the Secret Service. The FBI says it will also be helping local law enforcement. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
And Sunday's Super Bowl could go down as the warmest on record. By the way, I told you guys yesterday I was going to go to the beach. I did. I delivered, took a nap, read a book, you know, talked to myself like I do here. So the forecast for Inglewood, 84 degrees. Whew. The record high for a Super Bowl game was 84 degrees, which was set in L.A., of course, in 1973. National Weather Service meteorologist Mark Jackson says if the record is set, it could hold for quite some time.
There's only been 2 other instances in where the temperature kickoff was over 80 degrees.
Jackson says those temperatures were hit in L.A. and San Diego. Okay, I was talking about the Girl Scout cookies. Let me fill you in. Supply chain issues have affected Girl Scout cookies sales. ABC's Will Gans says the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles closed the online local delivery option because the stock is so low, orders can't be filled for some of the most popular cookies. Samoas and s'mores. I didn't know that they were among the most popular.
The chapter is sending an email to families saying that inadequate production and distribution issues, quote, have left the cookie program of Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles and other councils nationwide in a very compromised situation.
This sounds serious. Again, says COVID-related labor shortages have slowed production of the new Girl Scout Adventurefuls. Now, somebody tweet me or let me know. I don't even know what that one is. Does anyone know what? Have you, Alex or Laura Tyler? Have you had the Adventurefuls? Do you know what that is?
Not a clue.
What is it? I'm looking it up now.
I think they're the new caramel cookies, right?
Oh my God, my mouth started watering. Y'all. It's like a chocolate, like a little Reese's cup looking cookie. And it has the caramel on top, a little drizzle. Oh. They're little brownie bakers. Is that what they are? They're like little brownies.
I don't know, but I just gasped.
No, they're like little brownies. Oh, no wonder. No wonder the production is going to be slow for the Adventureful. If you guys haven't seen these, find a Girl Scout and order some. Chocolate and salted caramel. Oh, my goodness. The little girl in me just got excited. Okay. Enough of my problems. Okay, so when we come back, U.S. officials seize more than $3 billion in Bitcoin from a hack. Plus, Apple is turning every iPhone into a credit card reader. We have the details coming with our friend Rich DeMiro. But right now, from the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, how about we go some places? I'm supposed to say, let's go places. There is a stall on the 210 in Irwindale.
Westbound at the 605, that stall is off to the right shoulder, but watch for activity as you approach. Earlier stall has been cleared in Gardena, the 110 southbound after Rosecrans, and now in Redlands, a stall on the 10 westbound at Alabama Street. A tire came off a vehicle. That partially blocks the on-ramp. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Dave Joseph.
Hey all, it's Dean Sharp. Are you looking to sell your home in 2022? Well, congratulations. That is a big deal. For most of us, it's the biggest deal of all. So let's make sure you get everything out of it that you can, yeah? Before you get ready to list, make sure you call the good folks at Revive. Revive's business is to maximize your home's sale value. How? By guiding you through market-critical upgrades before you sell. It's like flipping your own home, except Revive fronts the cost and guarantees results. Yeah, you heard that right. No money out of pocket and a higher selling price guaranteed. You can list higher and sell faster in just a few short weeks. In fact, the average homeowner sees $160K in additional profit. This is a no-brainer. Revive has created an easy, stress-free way to maximize your greatest asset, your home. So, are you thinking about selling? Then before you do anything, chat with an advisor at Revive. To get started, go to iloverevive.com. That's iloverevive.com.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Save for your next steak dinner at Whole Foods Market. Get animal welfare certified beef New York strip steaks for $12.99 a pound through February 15th, plus an extra 10% off for Prime members while supplies last. See more on the Whole Foods Market app.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by the Winter Olympics on NBC and Peacock. Trevor Bauer will not face criminal charges for sexual assault allegations. Major League Baseball has yet to clear Bauer to return to the Dodgers. The Lakers were routed by the Bucks following a bad loss. LeBron James said the Lakers can't reach the reigning champions level, quote, right now. And Lindsey Jacobellis is the first American to take home gold in the Beijing Olympics. The 36-year-old captured Olympic gold in the women's snowboard cross final. I'm Steve Jordan.
The Winter Olympics. The moment is finally here. Don't miss every medal and every moment at the Winter Olympics. The games continue tonight at 5, only on NBC4 and Peacock.
Well, we've talked about SolarMax technology for years now. What made you decide to go with them?
Well, I did a bunch of research. I figured out that SolarMax technology was the best. I mean, they're local for one thing. They know their stuff. They got great prices. And
They are extending this special through February.
That's right. SolarMax brilliantly stocked up on those beautiful Tesla panels, so there is no supply chain wait.
Plus, it's all assembled locally. There's no middleman. And something we just figured out, now's the best time to get solar because you're going to get more electrical production during the spring.
So call SolarMax and get that sleek new Tesla 420-watt panel package, the most powerful solar panels on the market right now for zero down and only $79.96 a month.
Yeah, and a 1.99% APR. Dial pound 250 from your cell phone. Say the keyword SolarMax. That's pound 250 SolarMax. Or go to solarmaxtech.com. Monthly payment available on approved credit. See SOB number 972048.
Here's today's smart money tip from Owning. Call 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com to find out more about this amazing offer. The average 30-year mortgage stays on the lender's books around 8 years before it's paid off. So why do people take a 30-year loan rather than a 10 or 15? Lower monthly payments, of course. However, those lower payments come with a much higher interest rate. What if you can have the low interest rate of a 10-year loan with the low payment of a 30-year? Sounds smart, right? Introducing the Smart Money Loan from Owning. With a 1.99% rate, 2.589 APR, fixed for the first 10 years. You can lower your rate and payment and save thousands in interest. Call 833-2-OWNING to lock in a 1.99% rate, 2.589 APR today. Or visit owning.com.
NMLS 2611, subject to credit approval. Savings may vary. Call 833-303-2169 for licensing and qualifying terms and conditions. Equal housing lender, not licensed in all states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Live the glory of the NFL and celebrate the conclusion of the NFL's biggest season ever at Super Bowl Experience presented by Lowe's. Tickets start at just $20 and kids 12 and under attend free every day. Download NFL One Pass to purchase your tickets today. Open now at the LA Convention Center.
Whether you're already on Medicare or soon will be signing up for Medicare, just navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. So let me suggest contacting AGA Medicare Options and get educated about all the rules before you make any of these decisions. There is a free dinner and educational Medicare seminar, no enrollment fees, no sales, so leave your checkbook at home. And this is with AGA. AGA's team of experienced agents will advise you step by step on a plan that fits your unique situation and budget, because we're all different. And AGA will help you find plans that are accepted by your physicians, cover your medications at the lowest out-of-pocket costs. Call to attend a free seminar near you. Dial pound 250 on your cell and just say My Medicare. Pound 250 on the cell and say the keyword My Medicare. Or visit AGAMedicareOptions.com. AGAMedicareOptions.com.
Call Service Champions for their $88 professional AC tune-up at 833-777-7777.
Rules only work if you follow them. That's it. Barbara Ferrer said something idiotic like removing the mandates because the governor didn't follow them would be the equivalent of doing away with speed limits because people don't follow them on the roadways. We're talking about scaring the ever-living tar out of people.
Jerry and Shannon, weekdays at 10 a.m.
We're not talking about speed limits, Barbs.
on KFI.
You're listening to Wake Up Call on this Wednesday morning. I'm Layla Muhammad in for Jennifer Jones-Lee. And here are some of the stories we're following. No vaccine, no job. I should say no jab, no job. That's really what it's about. The LA County Board of Supervisors has directed the head of the county's personnel office to create a way to fire employees of the Sheriff's Department who do not comply with the county's vaccine mandate. Speaking of vaccines, Johnson & Johnson has stopped making its COVID-19 vaccine, temporarily ceasing production at its plant, its main plant in the Netherlands. And then a bus driver strike. Bus drivers in Orange County could strike because they say they don't get bathroom or lunch breaks, and they haven't had a raise since 2020. At 5:35, we're talking with Jane Wells from CNBC. She's been at the World Ag Expo, and she has more on why we've gone bonkers for butter. See, between those cookies we just talked about, the Adventurefuls, and some butter, this is bad for my hips. But right now, let's say good morning to KTLA's tech reporter, Rich DeMuro. Good morning, Rich.
Hey, good morning, Julia.
I've never talked to you this early.
Oh, it's early. That's for sure.
You sound thrilled.
Okay. I'm on KTLA at 5:30 every morning, so believe me, I've been getting up early for a large majority of my life at this point.
Do we need to be done with you by 5:30 so you can go to work?
No, it's the Olympics, so I'm actually on at 5:45 this morning.
Right. You're not
Get to
important
sleep in.
anymore. Yeah, you're not important because
I'm getting bumped by the shufflers, whatever. What do they call those people?
I don't know. Still learning most of the sports at the Olympics.
Yeah.
I didn't even know half of these things existed.
Me either.
Let's talk about this Bitcoin scheme. I mean, I saw this come down on the wires yesterday about the couple in New York. The Justice Department saying they seized more than $3.6 billion in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things that are really, really just wild about this story. Number one, when people think crypto, they think, well, it's, the government can't do anything about it. It's decentralized, it's private, it's secret, it's kind of all these things that regular money is not. And then we get a story like this and you realize, no, people are treating it and the governments are treating it just like regular money. So federal officials, like you said, seized $3.6 billion worth of Bitcoin, and this was related to a 2016 hack of a major kind of Bitcoin exchange. So this couple somehow figured out how to infiltrate the system. They took a whole bunch of Bitcoin. Back then it was only worth $60 million. And in the time since 2016, they've been making thousands of little tiny transactions, just like, people would launder regular money. I mean, I'm assuming. I don't really know from personal experience.
Well, I'm glad you made that clarification. I was worried.
I'm just being clear here. But the feds were onto them, and they basically figured out what this couple was doing. Like you said, a couple in New York, and they seized the rest of the Bitcoin. They had about 94,000 remaining. They only got to transfer about 25,000. And the way that they got the Bitcoin is they really traced all of the transactions on the blockchain and through other means. It took them a while, but they found all the codes to this couple's wallet stored in their cloud service. So, like a Google Drive or something like that, they had the codes to all of their online wallets. So this is just, there's so many layers to this that it's just a really interesting kind of new wave of crime, new wave of government coming in and, kind of seizing this newfound currency.
Did they, maybe I just missed this. Did they say how they were tipped off to this?
Well, I think that when this system, this exchange was hacked back in 2016, they knew this money went somewhere. So then it was a matter of figuring out where did this money go. And so if you read what the government actually laid it out. I'm surprised because it's a government document. They laid it out in a very clear way as to how they kind of followed the chain of events here. Not to use a pun on blockchain, but they basically explain how they did all this. And it was like a 5-step process, and it's pretty wild.
And they probably did that thinking, let me let you guys know that just because it's Bitcoin doesn't mean we can't figure this out and track you down.
Exactly. This is like a little warning shot, you know what I mean, to everyone that thinks Bitcoin is sort of like this secret private thing. The transactions on the blockchain are actually public. They may not have a name attached to them, but, that's kind of the part of the whole blockchain system.
Okay, let's talk about now what Apple is doing with our iPhones. Interestingly enough, I'm not surprised. So this is a new tap to pay feature.
Yeah, this is pretty wild, actually. So overnight, Apple has pretty much changed or turned or transformed every iPhone, well, from the XS and up, into a credit card terminal. So this has wide-ranging implications. So if you run a small business, you no longer need any extra equipment to accept credit cards except an iPhone. Now, small businesses have been using stuff like Square, that little reader that you either tap or you used to swipe. Venmo is also very popular. But this is basically turning your iPhone into a tap-to-pay machine. So if I ran, let's say, a hair salon, and people came in, they want to use their Apple Pay, they just tap their iPhone to my iPhone, or if you have a credit card that has the built-in RFID, which a lot of them do nowadays, they could just tap their credit card right onto my phone, boom, I take the payment, and I'm on my way.
Which is why I said I'm not surprised, because I do that now. When I'm at the grocery store or whatever, I like to just tap and just be done versus trying to put the card in the reader. Sometimes the strip doesn't read well, and you have to take it out and all that foolishness. This seems very efficient and smart.
Yeah, it's just one more way for businesses not only to save money, but it's kind of moving our world into this tap to pay, which, by the way, is much more secure than the swipe. So in fact, if you try to use swipe where there's a place that takes the chip, your credit card will actually not accept the swipe. Like, it will say, no, you got to use the swipe or the chip. So, and tap to pay and the chip are basically the same level of security. So, and the reason why they're much more secure than swiping is when you swipe your credit card, you're handing over your actual credit card number to that merchant. If that merchant was ever hacked, or if someone had a skimmer, your credit card number is out there in the wild. With Tap to Pay and Chip, you're exchanging a one-time number that can never be used again.
Oh.
So it is way more secure. In fact, I will never swipe my card. I have a rule that if it's a swipe, I will not use my card there at all, because it's way too insecure, and it's just, most places don't even let you do that anymore.
Yeah, I like the tap feature. And now I feel cool. I thought I was, just being a little daring. Now I'm feeling really cool. Okay, let's talk about Peloton, because, when Peloton first came out, I was just sitting there thinking, wow, one day I can afford that bike. It's like the mother of all bikes, right? Like everyone was getting them. Everyone who had thousands of dollars to spend on a bike. I'm watching my friends, and they're posting all their videos. What is going on? I feel like every week they're in the headlines, and it's not good.
I know. This is what I call the fall from grace. I mean, literally, Peloton was the thing to have during the pandemic, right? You couldn't even get your hands on one of these bikes if you wanted one. And all of your rich friends, of course, had one, and they're sitting there like, I'm getting my workout in my living room.
Yeah, with my favorite instructors, so-and-so. They knew their instructors by name, like they were their friends, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the instructors were part of the thing. So now, flash forward to, things are opening back up. People are going back to the gym, and people are tossing their Pelotons outside on the front lawn like, oh, I don't need this piece of trash anymore.
Well, call me, I'll come get it.
I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. People still, believe me, as someone who uses the Peloton app, people love Peloton. I don't have the bike, but I do have the app, and I use their workouts. And, people have formed this really strong bond with the Peloton instructors, like you said. But with that, it's not enough to keep up this company at this point. So they way over kind of estimated the demand for this product after the pandemic kind of lifted a little bit. And so now they're cutting all these jobs, 2,800 jobs, none of the instructors. So if you have your favorites, none of them are going anywhere. They're also going to kind of stop work on this new factory they're going to open in Ohio. They're getting a new CEO. And I'll give you a quick little story. I totally slept on Peloton when I first did a story on them back in like 2015. They called me up. I met with the CEO, and this guy who looked like he was just super young guy, and he's like, hey, this is what I invented, this bike with this thing. And I totally did not understand it. I'm like, why would you not go to the gym to do this with a real instructor? Like, I didn't get it at all. And of course,
did they offer you a bike and you were like, I'm good, you should have taken that bike?
Seriously. They actually said, like, well, we could probably get you a discount on this bike. I'm like, I don't need it. I got my gym membership.
Oh, but yeah, you're right, because during the pandemic, when we couldn't go to the gym at first, right, and then slowly we got to go back, but things were different. A lot of us turned to at-home workouts or doing more outside. I mean, we're lucky here in LA, we have the good weather, so hiking is easy, and, going outside to run is easy, but I wish I had one of those bikes. I do. And even though Mr. Big died on the bike, if you haven't seen, just like that, I'm sorry, I wasn't spoiling it because you're just late at this point. Even though that happened, he didn't die on the bike, he died, as a result of his ride.
Yeah, well, you know what, yeah. And here's the thing, like Peloton I still think is an amazing idea. I think that it's here to stay. It's just maybe not to the level that they predicted as a company. A lot of this is just money stuff, not real people. Like, if you talk to anyone that has a Peloton, they absolutely love it. So, and like you just said, you want one, and I still want a bike at one of these days. I have like an imitation Peloton.
That's okay. As long as it works, you're getting the job done.
It works.
Yes, Rich, it's always good to talk with you. And folks, if you're listening, you can always follow KTLA's tech reporter, Rich DeViro, on social media at Rich on Tech. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Layla. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, when we come back, we are talking about, California. We love farming here. It's a big year for ag sales, ag equipment especially. And so we're talking with Jane Wells, CNBC's Jane Wells, who's been to a really cool convention. Plus, she's giving us the scoop on butter. I just know that it involves butter. But right now, let's go ahead and take a look at your drive right now. Dave is tracking a crash on the 10 in West Covina.
It's eastbound before Vincent Avenue. This crash blocks the right lane. Watch for slowing as you approach. New crash in Downey on the 5 northbound before Paramount. This is in the center divider. Traffic stop and go from the 605. Irwindale, the 210 westbound after 605. You've got to stall off to the right shoulder. And slowing through Glendora on the 210 westbound. You're on the brakes between the 57 and Grand. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Dave Joseph.
Are you tired of changing water filters from all around your home or lugging heavy salt bags in for outdated water softeners? Well, what if I told you you could turn on any tap in your home and have filtered, great-tasting water flowing from every faucet? You could with a LifeSource Whole House water system. It connects directly to your plumbing, and their systems filter out harsh chemicals and reduce hard water problems. You could eliminate the cost and hassle of buying bottled water, and you would taste the difference when you drink and cook with clean, refreshing water, and your skin and hair will feel the difference when you shower with water without drying chemicals like chlorine. The best part, there's no maintenance of any kind. No filters to change, no salt to add. Simply install and enjoy quality water for over 10 years. Right now, LifeSource Water is offering a free consultation and free installation. So call to speak with their professional service team. There's no middleman with LifeSource Water. You get factory direct service, installation, and expertise. Call LifeSource today at 800-334-5009. That's 800-334-5009. Or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource Water. Taste and feel the difference.
SoCal weather from KFI, sunny and even warmer today. As I told you yesterday, it's going to be hot. Highs in the low 80s along the coast, mid to upper 80s for the LA Basin and Inland OC, mid 80s for the valleys and IE. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Layla Muhammad.
Want to boost your immunity and protect your community? Get a COVID-19 booster. They help keep you and others safe from the virus and its variants this winter and beyond. If it's been at least 5 months since your last dose of Pfizer or Moderna, or at least 2 months since your last dose of J&J, it's time for a booster. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find a booster near you. Let's keep our immunity strong. Get your booster and flu shot while you're at it, too. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
With the Spectrum Mobile, you get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each, and you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contract. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today. And in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you can save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com for details.
Stay for your next big dinner at Whole Foods Market. Get Animal Welfare Certified Beef New York Strip Steaks for $12.99 a pound through February 15th. Plus an extra 10% off for Prime members while supplies last. See more on the Whole Foods Market app.
The smell was so repulsive and overpowering. Undaunted, I kept looking for the source of that awful stench. Hello, I'm John McClain, owner of Rooter Hero Plumbing. I was 18 and I needed to earn enough money to buy some good, reliable tools. Digging trenches was honest work, and it paid $35 a day. So I did it. My client's main line had collapsed, and the sewage gas was overwhelming. My eyes watered, but I couldn't leave my client in that condition. I learned my work ethic from my father, who was the hardest working man I ever met. When I started Rooter Hero Plumbing, I brought that work ethic to the company. We will never leave you without solving your problem. That's why my cell phone number is on the back of every Rooter Hero business card. Call us at 866-RAIN-77, and we'll cable that line for $77. That's 866-RAIN-77. Thank you.
CL 102-8886. AM 640. More stimulating talk.
One of the big stories we're following in the KFI newsroom, LA County DA George Gascon says, after reviewing evidence and witness statements and the recent denial of a restraining order, his office is not pursuing charges against Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer for sexual assault. Plus, coming up at 5:52, truckers protesting vaccine mandates and other COVID-19 restrictions. Well, they're threatening border trade between the U.S. and Canada. We're checking in with ABC's Tom Rivers for the latest. Right now, you heard the intro. I love that. Did you have a part in that song or no?
No,
there is a really devoted wake-up call fan named Eric Lassarda who's incredibly talented, and he sometimes likes to do these song parodies, and I just can't tell you how tickled I am every time I hear that. Isn't that fun? Isn't that clever?
It's so wonderful. It's very catchy. You know, because I like a good jingle, too. Like, I like jingles when I'm watching TV. So anything that's catchy just kind of sticks in my head. So I'll be singing that all day. Jane Wells.
Yeah.
Balls around,
You hate me.
I'm doing well. You know, I love following you on Twitter. So if you're not following Jane, it's at Jane Wells. You're so fun. I love your personality, and you're quirky. It's all the great stuff about you that I love. So you've been hanging out at the World Ag Expo?
Yeah. This, you may not be aware of it.
I'm not.
Leila. No.
Anything with ag, I don't know what's happening.
It's a thing. You know, California is actually the #1 farm state and the #1 dairy state and the #1 almond state and #1 other things except for corn and soybeans. But, yeah, it's held every year in Tulare. It was virtual last year, which is in the middle of the state, and it's a big deal. And so I went up there because farmers have been getting more money because we're paying more for everything. Of course, they're paying more for everything, especially fertilizer, and they have been upgrading their machines. Farmers usually kind of upgrade their tractors like every 7 years, and it's a great time to be in the equipment manufacturing business because supplies are tight. It's kind of like cars, you know? You can't get enough cars right now. Same thing with tractors, except these tractors can cost, $400,000. And so it's boom times up there, although at the same time, yeah, farmers are starting to, their margins are getting compressed because everything all along the process, from manure to, feed to what you and I are paying in the grocery store, it's all gone up.
You mentioned the tractor. So, I mean, $400,000. And if you're a farmer, I know I sound ignorant. I did not know this. I didn't know they could be that expensive. I mean, these must be the kind of tractors you can live in and, live on. And they do everything for you. It's got a coffee maker. So, anything that impressed you?
Well, they're just really, really working on automation. Like cars, they want to be able for these tractors to almost drive themselves. And there are electric tractors now because fuel costs are so high. But there's all kinds of stuff that's there. They're trying, particularly in California, you spend so much more on, or you need labor in agriculture more than you do in the Midwest. Because in the Midwest, you can have a machine to harvest your corn or soybeans. Here, with almonds and strawberries and all that, you still need people. So there's all these companies that are trying to create startups. There was some fun things like this Israeli company has come up with a drone that will pick apples out of the tops of apple trees for Washington State, so you don't need a person up on a ladder to go up and do that. Well, I watched it for a while, and the time it took to get one apple, a human could get 20. So there's still some work to do there. But there was this young woman who has created, she won an award. She created what they call a mummy gun. Now, almond trees, Layla, I'm here to tell you more about California. Almonds are, behind dairy, we're all about the almonds.
I love almonds.
They are a multi-billion-dollar business, but we export them all over the world.
I'm part of, paying for that industry. I love almonds.
Oh, yeah. I love them too. Every almond tree, or most almond trees, will maybe have a couple of almonds that don't get shaken off. They have to harvest almonds, you shake the tree. In fact, they call them up in the part of the state where they grow them, almonds, because to harvest them, you have to shake the L out of them. Little farm joke. So there'll be a couple almonds that stay on the tree, and they start to rot, and then a worm grows out of them, which can destroy the tree, and so they're called mummies. And so this little robotic gun will go down your almond orchard and shoot these mummies out of the tree so that the tree will be healthy. So that's kind of stuff. But the big news, what I wanted to say was butter. Butter is saving dairy bacon. Butter, we're a dairy, #1 dairy state.
Right.
Butter demand since the pandemic, because we're baking like crazy.
Banana bread. That's the banana bread. People are baking that banana bread.
Oh, I know. I still haven't perfected it. We're importing butter. That's how much we love it. We can't make enough of it. Butter prices are at a 4-year high. $2.50 a pound. That's double what it was a year ago.
Wow. Yeah, you posted a little clip of a segment you did yesterday dealing with butter. So, I mean, you seem pretty excited about the butter.
Well, person I excited about the butter. You know, what was good was for butter was a few years ago they realized margarine may be worse for you than butter, and so that's been great for the dairy industry. But no, it was really the pandemic where everybody started baking at home. And of course, cheese does well, which offsets the fact that very few people are drinking as much cow's milk as they used to. We're all into the almond milk.
Yeah, I do almond milk, and now oat milk, by the way. I don't know why I turned to oat milk. It's just an option they offer. Would you like almond or oat? And I'm like, I'll get the oat milk. And it makes my latte taste better, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing.
Does it?
Yeah, I think so. They told me it does. The barista told me. And, you know, you want to feel like you're doing something cool. At least I do.
You're just cool by being you, Lennon.
I'm not. Stop lying, Jane. So listen, let's talk about the Super Bowl because that's your next adventure, right?
I'm heading down to SoFi today. Roger Goodell is giving a news conference, and you know, there's so much to talk about the NFL this week, but I will also be focusing on the money. I was looking at tickets this morning, and yesterday on StubHub, the cheapest tickets was $4,400. It dropped $500 this morning.
Oh, it's on sale.
Yeah, you can get in now for $3,870, Layla Muhammad. So you and I and maybe 3,800 other KFI listeners can throw in, and we'll all sit on each other's lap. Now, the 50-yard line seats are on StubHub for $46,000.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I was going to say, where are the seats? The tickets you saw, where are you sitting, though? I guess it doesn't matter. You're still at the Super Bowl. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They're at the Starbucks in Inglewood. That's how far away they are. But they have one.
Does that come with a drink?
Yeah, exactly.
A little latte, a little $5 latte. You know, I was thinking about the money part of it because at one point we had the conversation about, you know, if LA's, you know, COVID numbers were too high, the Super Bowl would move. And I thought the whole time, that's not happening. This is bringing in too much money for our economy.
Yeah, well, you know, the Super Bowl last year in Tampa Bay, they had, you know, only like first responders. No, this is full-fledged. There's going to be 100,000 people there. And it's a little tougher for the hotels because usually, you know, you have two teams coming into town for the Super Bowl, but, you know, one team already lives here. So it's not quite the bonanza for hotels. But ad rates for NBC, this is crazy. $7 million for a 30-second ad. It's a 30% jump from a year ago. It's a record. And it's right in the middle of the Olympics. So it's good for NBC because the Olympics are getting record low ratings.
Oh, record low. I didn't think that was going to be the case. But I did see people talking on social media. Is anybody watching the Olympics? I just don't have appointment viewing. That's really fun. I mean, I know that's cool to be able to cover the Super Bowl and to have it here in LA is a big deal for us, right? And with the home team, that's really exciting. So, are you guys experiencing the NFL experience they have there, the fan experience?
Well, you know, they canceled a lot of stuff because of COVID. There is still the NFL experience. My hand-eye coordination, I was born without hand-eye coordination, Layla. So, like, if I tried to, you know, throw a ball, it would end up going in the other person's end zone. So, they may force me just for, you know, blanks and giggles. But I'm really hoping I can avoid humiliating myself any more than I usually do.
Jane, it's always a pleasure talking to you. We said we had to hang out one day. I know your schedule is super busy, and mine is not as busy as yours. So if you ever want to grab coffee and I just feel like I know you.
I mean, from you know what? Go to Starbucks in Inglewood, and I'll buy the oat milk.
Oh, wonderful. Oat milk, not oat milk, right? Oat milk. Milk, yes. Oat milk. I think somebody sound like oat milk.
Okay, oat milk.
Yes, and your latte. It's like getting the almond milk, but I think it's like the same flavor, really. I don't know, the drinks don't necessarily have a certain listen and
Super GBT presents Mario and Marty. React to
as always.
A happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too?
Really avoid me.
I love you, you love me. We're best friends like friends should be. With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you.
Okay, we come back and talk about what's happening with these strike that some suffers around the freedom convoy and protesting Canada's COVID restrictions have got affecting trade and what's happening here in the U.S. right now. It's supposed to be dry. In California, the notable attempts to build a first trade port across the clear on the 5 in Guam.
Here I am. It's the Twin Tower. everybody, it's time for Bobby Says.
Bobby Says. Crash off to the right shoulder. And in Irwindale, the 210 westbound is still far. I'm Dave Joseph.
Everyone, Bonnie made a friendly class. Oh, you're
Medicare or soon as you sign up for Medicare, navigating Medicare can be overwhelming.
Wait, this is sadness. That's anger. This is
Contacting AGA Medicare options and get educated about all the rules before you make any of these decisions. There is a free dinner and educational Medicare seminar, no enrollment fees, no sales, so leave your checkbook at home. And this is with AGA. AGA's team of experienced agents will advise you step by step on the plan that fits your unique situation. And AGA will help you find plans that are acceptable to your physicians, cover your medications at the lowest out-of-pocket cost. Call us within a free seminar near you.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Saving money feels pretty good. So lower your rates, not your expectations. At Allstate, better protection constant all year long. Visit Allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Have yet